Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2. Let me introduce to you the red Protoss player in the bottom right. You've probably watched him before, but maybe not quite like this. It's the captain, Harstem. Up against fellow European challenger Zerg, it's Wayne. Making a new name for himself, evolving from Ratata into it's Wayne. That's his name. It's also his name. In case you were wondering the inspiration, he looked at his Wayne. All right, so he's shown some great games lately as well, though. So I don't know what to expect. I know Harstem has a wide variety of strategies he can bring to the table. But what does he think is the best chance against one of the best Zergs, essentially outside of Cyril or Raynor? Do you want to see something different? Or do you want to see him stick to the script? I don't know, because I will stick to the script. I promise you. I'll promise you so much that if you like and subscribe. And how, Jimmy, what are we at? If we get 1,046 likes on this, seven on this video, I will cast another series. I'll probably do it anyways, but thank you for tuning in. First two Adept shading by, Wayne. Eats one drone kill, but that's enough. All Harstem's going to get to start. It's going to be 50 shades with glaives. Cheeky Adept timing to kick things off. Romo on the way alongside 3 more gates. This means he is very interested in getting damage done. Sure, it isn't necessarily a game-ending build, but has a very good chance of putting the Zerg in an awkward spot, assuming he's able to get him onto the back foot. Of course, if the Zerglings just get in, Wayne is quite committed to the idea. The probe, where's the minerals? Okay, slaps down a cyber core and warps in some more. Harstem loses 2 adepts to the Zerglings as they try to claw their way inside the base. Wayne really wants to know what's going on right now, and the lack of an oracle in the next few moments may give away some of the information. In fact, there's already roaches. Wayne, a defensive set of roaches here. I think not intending to counterattack, just expecting something like this, especially now that he's seen the lack of Stargate units and maybe had some experience with Harstem before. Adding spore crawlers now, but those are anti-Dark Templar spores. Yeah, sees the gas in the corner. Has some suspicions. He doesn't know for sure. I think he's clearly suspecting adepts right now. But he can't be 100% confident in the shade. So he has to get... Essentially, if you don't have a lair and you don't get any spore, you just lose the game. You just straight up lose the game. You have no way to actually defend against the DT. So you have to... You can't really cut that corner unless you're willing to gamble the entire game. Spores aren't that expensive, but are they expensive enough to cut into the economy so much that Harstem's able to do damage with these adepts? Jamming him into the corner there, finding the queens, deciding to cancel the shade at the last moment. It did look a little haphazard. The Zerglings looking for the wraparound gank in the mid lane. Find it on top of the adepts. Lines up the corrosive biles and lands them right on top. And a lot of the adepts are going to go down. Of course, the Zerglings sliced to pieces as well. But overall, a critical mass of adepts has been at least blunted. The chances of Harstem straight up winning the game with them very low at this point, especially considering in the production tab we already see a disruptor. It's going to be straight into the double-barrel shotgun drop, it looks like. Come back with the warp prism, load up the ruptors, and start firing. Because Wayne just now has caught up economically, at least when it comes to the worker count. As when you're defending against these Twilight Council plays, you simply cannot build many drones. Between building the spores and a necessity to have an overwhelming amount of units, it's a tough line to walk, whether when to build units and drones, because if they're not committed to the adepts, if they go for a third or tech up very quickly, and you build a bunch of roaches, it is not unlike, oh no, did Harstem lose the prism? He lost the prism with some of the adepts. Yes, he's getting some kills in the main, 2 adepts, potentially devastating. So, a bloody battle so far, or whatever the Protoss have. As 17 adepts have gone down, so have 66 Zerglings. That prism getting taken out is not that expensive, but the no more map control. No more ability to keep Wayne comfortably pinned back with all his units on the other side. And this is what you risk as the Protoss with the Twilight. This and Mutas, but the big counterattack when there's just not enough to keep him at home. The Disruptors show up to the party, but all the units are so close to the Protoss that you can't risk it. The Stalkers are getting ripped to shreds right now. The Ravagers, only 3 of them, but more than enough to back up the Zerglings. Might be able to take out the shield battery as well. Throws up Corrosive Bow onto the pylon. Might as well go for the source of the issue. Disruptors waiting for their opportunity. Zerglings force them back into the prism. Probes are pulled. 7 probes down. And Wayne, so far, has gotten more than he bargained for with this attack. +1/+1 melee and ranged attack on the way. We have Roach Speed in production. Yes, a Warp Prism is out. Yes, Harstem has about half the tech tree already done. He has Blink on the way. He's got a Robo Bay. He's got a Templar Archives. He's got +1. But his gateway count is still at 4. He's only got a single Robo. He did lose a bunch of probes. Hunts down and slaps 2 balls into the Queen there from the Disruptors as I contemplate both where Harstem's build is going and whether we're still doing phrasing. +1, +1, +1. Well, everyone's +1 is finishing for everything really relevant on the field. The attack upgrades will be done. And that lines up the opportunity for +2 melee attack, which allows Banelings to potentially one-shot drones. A big damage upgrade. On top of the fact it helps the Zerg. No, my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Kill the Adept. Somebody kill the Adept. Will someone come back here and kill the Adept? Oh no! The Adept! I thought he activated his cloaking device. I can't believe this. The Adept gets like 6 or 7 more kills than it ever needed to, as literally the Zerglings pulled away 1 attack from killing it. And that 1 attack has turned the economy of Wayne from a slight lead to about even. 69 drones apiece. Well, workers apiece. And that means Harstem in a pretty comfortable position to press forward here. Finds a target onto the Ravager's Morphin. Gets most of the money back as they weren't quite completed yet. But Harstem, even though he doesn't have much gateway production, he's at up to 7 now. But able to keep some form of map control here. The big risk is still the overwhelming Zerg force. The capability to just... Well, there's also the looming threat of Mutas, which also exists whenever you don't go Stargate. That's a small but meaningful part of why almost every Protoss versus Zerg opens with Stargate. So, it's on the table. But right now, the table is shaky at best. 21 more Banelings. Harstem taking the center base here. I think probably a smart move. He has 2 high grounds to work with. Psionic Storm is now completed. He has all the flavors of splash damage, at least the ground-based version. Wait, are there air-based versions? No. Maybe next patch. Baneling's trying to roll in, but Harstem has a hard wall until the probes mine through. Meanwhile, here comes Wayne, but the storms are washing away the front line. Another set. Trying to roll through. The Disruptors are still in the prism, waiting for their opportunity. Fires off a shot. So far, so good. Harstem with an incredibly capable defense. Baneling's trying to roll through into the Templar. They're all the way past. The Stalkers block forward to chase down. And now Harstem goes up to a 147 to 136 supply lead. Yes, relatively small, but when you have the Protoss army against the Zerg here, and the cost efficiency of these units and the variety of splash damage, Harstem in a good spot to springboard, especially since he kept that 4th base alive. The storms ward away to the Zerglings. No Archons at the moment. Will be very helpful, but he wants to save some of that energy. Zerglings looking for an opportunity. A scouting Ruptor shot. +2 melee and +2 ranged attack are in the mail right now. We've got +2 ground for Harstem already completed. Banelings crashing through. Disruptors warding away the most dangerous force field. Still very tense, as one bad fight could spiral out of control for either side. Wayne's army is not so overwhelming that he can afford to just run right into storms and come out the other side. No, a few good storms and he could easily be left without the critical mass of units that he needs to compete with Harstem's army. The Blink Stalker count 27 Stalkers on the ground right now, which would be weird if they were anywhere else, but... Oh no, the +2, he gets all the Templar! Oh no, it's a disaster for... Wait, there's some more. Do they have enough for Storm? Either way, losing 6 Templar to a handful of Banes is far from ideal. Oh, and he gets the Archons off this time. Disruptors come up short. Immortals on the front. Nexus also falling. The Ravagers. There's so many moving parts here for Harstem. And it's starting. Well, it's starting to look difficult, but he belongs to the other side of the Ravagers. He says, I'm not done with you yet. You're not locked in here with me. Wait, that's not what I meant. Once again, blunking forward. Wayne, did he bite off more than he could chew? Or is he just digesting it now? Corrosive bile coming back up. He only has 1 Ravager, so I think Harstem killing all of those Ravagers in the chase there may give him the opportunity to go forward. Mainling's about to complete on the 3rd. Disruptor shot, finding nothing. Disruptor itself goes down. Mainling's rolling through, doing whatever they can to draw some fire before they execute their one attack. Roaches from the right, roaches from the left, queens as well in support. No, Harstem warps in another round, battles back, and so far has held the line. Able to... He's reinforcing yet again. There's not enough anti-air to take out the Prism. A single queen, 1 Ravager, Disruptor looking for a shot. Gets 4 roaches. 1... Wayne... It keeps feeling like Wayne is a few seconds away from cleaning this up, but the Warp Prism is still alive. He needs to kill that last Ravager. He does as he warps in another round. Harstem understands the situation. There's no anti-air. He can warp it in the middle of the battle. And he kills 13 drones. Wayne is knocked back down under 100 supply. Harstem has been long-distance mining, probably because he hasn't been looking at his 4th for a while. But what a game. 14 minutes in. And we're both struggling to get over that 100 mark, which is absolutely ridiculous in this matchup. It's not like the economies are terrible either. They just keep slaughtering each other's units. They can't put it up on the field for long enough to keep it, well, to really find enough supply to overwhelm. Oh, no cancel. That Dark Shrine, suspected earlier, is it a desperation shrine or a devious tactic to get ahead? And also, will Wayne be thinking of it? Really trying to use those Templar. Those 6 Templar dying to Banelings. Oh, certainly. That's when the tide shifted here. Harstem still finding a lot of damage with storms. May want to consider some Archons. Still, another storm. Gets 1 Archon. Another Templar goes down, though. Ravager's moving forward. We gotta actually look at the HP of units now, which is, I mean, usually relevant, but not so much so. Those Ravagers can blink a handful forward, gets off cooldown, kills a few more, and back at home, there's still an Immortal finding some... But did that Immortal get all those kills? He may have warped some stuff in, or the Immortal was just going to town. Not an easily killed unit. They name it that for a reason. Blink Stalker's trying to come forward, link up with the Prism, but... finding a few too many Zerglings for their taste. Still, the Blink battle continues. Ravagers versus Zergling. Harstem is so good about finding the edge cases when he can actually blunk forward. The real issues have been keeping the splash damage alive, but the Blink Stalker decision-making has been really good. It's very hard to decide to blink forward reliably. But if you can get those Ravagers and keep most of your Stalkers alive, it's completely worth it. Well, now Harstem's trying the oldest trick of the book, the bait and switch. Trying to buy some time and some attention over to the right. Like, look at me! I'm over here. And Wayne has decided to be everywhere but. As the DTs are on the 4th, we saw an Overseer morphing. I don't know if it's because he saw that or just a good general rule there. The DTs are trying to chase. Loses one of the Immortals. Grabbing... He actually killed the hatchery outright. The DT is still going to work. Scouting Disruptor. A recall on the Stalkers as both sides scramble in a hectic battle for control. It looks like Wayne may... When it all even... A Scouting Archon. The units are all over the place for both sides. It mostly favors Wayne, but once again, one bad fight. Wayne does have the army supply lead. He still has a drone count that needs respecting, and importantly, he maintained that 4th hatchery over to the left flank. And with it, he has the ability to actually continue mining, whereas Harstem's mining out of his main. His natural's drying up. He doesn't have that many drones or probes left. There's another Ruptor. And it may just be coming apart here. The captain will go down with this particular ship as Wayne is able to get into the natural, killing a few of the final probes. I believe there are some Zerglings in the main as well, too. He's consolidated enough Ravagers and Zerglings. It's just too much. A very technical style from Harstem. Wayne keeping up with it just barely. It really does require a minute attention to detail. And the details like 6 Banelings, or Banelings rolling into 6 Templar. And that's usually the reason you don't see as many Templar out on the field in this matchup. They're just so fragile. So many great storms, but not great in... Well, he blinks forward yet again. There's a cannon in the main. The Blink Stalkers, Harstem's still making a game of it. He's got +3 Blink Stalkers in the Dream. That Warp Prism, a strong gust of wind in the EMP. Oh no, there goes the Prism. But Harstem's army is still enough to be a threat. If the drones get involved, there is still 1 High Templar. Unfortunately, no storms. The Archon microing back, the High Templar even contributing to the group activity. Harstem fighting to the bitter end. And, well, we've reached it. Ooh, a tough game there. As both sides just ripping... Oh my. Doesn't get much closer. God. Those High Templar, they're so helpless on their own. Oh, if only High Templar had a high-powered rifle that could 2-shot Banelings. But that seems... That seems a little ridiculous. Give them some water balloons. Wayne escaping. Just barely out of that match. It does feel like we never went past that early game tech. Wayne barely getting to +2, and that was about the extent of it, so. Well. Jimmy, please. Royal Blood. 1-0 Wayne. That's par for the course with Harstem. In my experience. He is at risk of sounding overly flattering, a very smart player. Otherwise he couldn't get away with most of the shenanigans he does. But he plays a style that's so hard to pull off. It's like, he's juggling flaming swords, while also reciting a Latin ballad and playing against Zerg. Like, it's about that, dude. We'll bring that one home, all right? Working, Jimmy, we gotta work on these. Harstem would have come up with something better in his second language. It still counts. Like, the Dutch is a real language. No, not German. I apologize. No, it's not underwater. That's Atlantis. Metabolic boost. Wayne showing... Honestly, I think he was just trying to hold on. He knows that the Blink Stalkers, and especially the Templar, like, Harstem had the double flavor of splash damage. He had all of the options. So if you wait too long and give him too much opportunity, he's going to have Templar at every base, going to lock it down. Like, the third base was never really breached because Harstem set it up so well. He just never had time to set up at the fourth. He never had the units to back up his defenses. And that made all the difference. This time we're retreating back to Stargate tech. Back to normalcy, I guess we could call it. Will it be oracles? Will Harstem have something different for us? Oracles it is. Or, well, at least one oracle, which usually leads to moracles. Overlord sent in directly. He's gonna get a good spot. Sees the oracle building. Dies dramatically. And another one behind it. Sending out a probe towards the third as well. Trying to get that set while still putting some pressure on. Oh, that's a lot more Zerglings. Barely jams himself into the minerals. Looks like he's going to lose that probe, but could have been worse. It's definitely... Well, it's still not good for Harstem here. Oh, no. At least he's able to get the warp-ins, but he loses 2 Adepts, a Stalker, and a Probe. And what does he get in turn? 3 drone kills. Not ideal. Evolution chamber on the way. It isn't the end of the world for Harstem. It is quite a delay. But with this style, and also remember, Wayne, in order to get that many lings out, he has to cut into his drone count. That's how it is. When the larva, there are so many possibilities with Schrodinger's larva. Could be a Zergling, could be some drones, could be an Ultra. Not entirely sure how all that works, but I'm not a scientist, all right? I'm just here to commentate. Twilight Forge on the way. The standard follow-up, and the Oracles do find an opportunity before the Spore finishes up. 4 more drone kills. Wayne at 47. And barely adding more, getting a few more Zerglings. And this is the risk you run, feeling kind of like constantly overdrawing your economy to get those Zerglings out. He's building a lot of Zerglings for someone who knows he's up against Oracles. Quite a gamble. Maybe expecting some counter-aggression, but there's already 24 lings and 14 more on the way. Which, Harstem's just building probes back at home. He's getting +1. He's getting blank. It's looking pretty good for him. Banelings? Something of a Baneling bust? And that is one way to go about it. Now, if he's actually able to get through into the natural, of course, he could wreak havoc. Oh, God. Oh, no. Well, the Oracles are nowhere to be seen. Building more pylons, not the ideal wall in there. Banelings headed towards the third. Oracles on the way back now. There are Banelings morphing in the main, but the Stalkers are forming a body block with shield battery overcharge. Oh, you shall not pass, says Harstem. And, yeah, that's not gonna work. It's not. Oh my. Oh wait. Oh my God. Oh, this wall brought to you by Hero. Well, is that even that bad though? It depends on the number, I guess. The Zerglings get in, which means he knows where they are and he can kill them. Loses 9 probes, which is subpar, but wow. I can't believe. Unfortunately, the Protoss never invented doors. Which might explain all their weird lore. Nope, no privacy. I guess you don't need privacy when everybody can hear your thoughts and emotions. And how is that different than the Zerg, who also are controlled by... You know what? Don't worry about it. Storm. Wow. Harstem really tech heavy. I mean, I love Storm. I love seeing it. I think, well, I don't love playing against it, but I do think it's one of the most fun abilities. Both to watch. It feels fair to me. Which is, you know, a rare thing. But it is a big risk, especially against Zerg to go Storm, as we saw last game. But the payoff can be quite dramatic as well. So, does he run legions of Zerglings? Is legions the right word? Swarms of Zerglings into the storms. Will we see Wayne take another path? Brenda, where are you going? Why are you here? What? What? Oh my god, they got an Oracle! The Queen Murder Patrol! Meanwhile, Blinkstalkers, everybody everywhere. So Queens are chasing Oracles, Blinkstalkers are chasing Zerglings. The pigs are flying, and dogs and cats are getting along, and Husky's uploading StarCraft 2 content. Like, I don't know, what's happening out here? I don't... Well, yeah, the Blinkstalkers are hunting down the Zerg. Only the Zerglings have speed, everything else. Like, the Roaches don't... I can't... I'm not sure what the Queen... Most of the Queens came back. Well, Infestation Pit is on the way. Wait, is that a Phoenix? Wait, what? Does he suspect Butus? I have no idea. Harstem's like, how could I... My army's already very hard to control. Remember the flaming swords. It's already incredibly difficult. There's a lot of little details and a lot of micro I have to do. How can I make it even harder? Alright? I've got 5 or 6 different units that need to be actively controlled. Blinkstalkers, Oracles, High Templar. That's about it for now. But okay, like 3 units. Let's add the Phoenixes in. He's getting +1. The storms are beautiful right now. They're holding the line. The Templar merge into Archons just in time. And that was an impeccable defense from Harstem. He loses 5 Stalkers, an Archon, and a Templar for 83 Zerglings. And a dozen Roaches and counting so far. Well, he got off to a bit of a rough and tumble start. Now he's rolling his way across the map. Hive is on the way. Harstem decides to back off. I guess without a prism. Yeah, wait, does he have a prism? No. Oh, finds an opportunity with the Oracles as well. If Hive finishes in Adrenal Glands, this is one of the few scenarios where upgraded Zerglings could really make a big difference. Yeah, Adrenal Glands is the first upgrade against this mostly gateway-based army with only +2 attack. Harstem's still upgrading +1 air weapons. I mean, why would he stop? But he built 1 Phoenix, which maybe suspecting Mutas, but not the direction we end up going here. Alright. +2 on the way. It does feel like Harstem's established... He's held on to his 4th. He's got the right ground army. He's working his way to Fleet Beacon, and likely carriers. But this has given Wayne a bit of an opportunity to actually consolidate his economy, to tech up. He's got an ultraless cavern on the way. Well, there are charge lots in the main that need to be dealt with. So the short version of what I'm saying is maybe Harstem giving Wayne a little too much space. But he's not just playing passive. This is passive aggression at its best. As the War Prism and the charge lots eviscerate 20 drones. What is going on? Oh, they're still in the main. Well, why risk your entire army if half a dozen charge lots can get most of their economy? And I think this has inspired Harstem to at least test the waters out here. A carrier on the way. War Prism heading back towards the main. A whole lot of Zerglings on the field here. But the Templar on the back line. Stalkers blinking back before they can be taken out. Everything on creep at the moment, but starting to recede as it's picked off. Ultraless Cavern is completed. Though I'm not sure if Ultras are... he's got chitinous plating on the way. And of course, any amount of carriers is going to be very, very difficult for Wayne to deal with only 4 queens. Slaps down Revelation. Well, the Templar caught on the wrong lane here, but huge counterattack. But oh my god, look at the fortress here. What a setup. Harstem making sure that the third base is as tough to crack as possible. Zoning out. He knows he doesn't have the army supply to split too thinly. Another round coming in. Wayne looks like he's going to try to just bust through it. He's been trying that this whole game, but this time around, Harstem has held the line. Here comes Wayne. The Wayne Bane Pain Train has left the station, but the probes will actually go out the other way from the gateway that the roaches killed and come back. I mean, 10 probes, but how costly was that? And now the carriers have arrived. God, the Ultra's so tiny now. It's fun-sized. Chitinous plating is down +3. Once again, we're going into this hectic base trade. Harstem laying down the storms on the Ravagers and the Roaches. There's no anti. He's halfway through his Spire, but there's still no anti-air against the carrier. Wayne's actually supply block. At 166 supply is to build so many Overlords. The Ultras trying to chew through the Zealots here, but... Carriers have arrived. Ultras do not counter carriers. I mean, if they could bring them down on the ground, maybe. They could fight them 1v1. But... unfortunately, never get that opportunity. Well... Wayne, he just doesn't have any anti-air. He finished the Spire. He has a decent economy. In fact, he has a worker lead here, but even 2 carriers. That it can pick apart the Ravagers. The Storms are just beautiful right now. Washing across all the Zerg, ripping them apart. The carriers backstopping the army from any counterattacks, targeting down any key units. Immortals are mixed in. The Ultras explode, and Harstem brings it back in game 2. That will be G. Wow. Pick up your phone. You know, that game was cool, but... the most important thing was how... Moving on. Harstem handling it near perfectly there. All right. Well, all tied up. We've had... honestly, these games are incredibly close. It is about an equal level of tomfoolery. An equal level of less than ideal positioning placement that has resulted in quite a dramatic struggle. Like, in game 1 with Harstem really struggling with the High Templar, keeping his splash damage alive. Wayne barely able to break through. Game 2. Game 2, the Baneling bust was pretty confusing. And never really happened, actually. The only thing that did happen was the Zerglings getting in through the least obvious, not so... I don't even know what to call that. That happens way too much. The geometrical aberration that was Harstem's knot wall. That was like in any TV show when the protagonists need to get into the fortress. And there's this one guy who knows the secret tunnel. And the secret tunnel is just like people forgot about a hole in the wall. Except that's Protoss every game. How many times? If we gave Protoss doors, then, well, Hero would, his win rate would I want to say double digit, again, especially against Zerg. At least a double digit increase against Zerg. It is a bit embarrassing how often that happens. Though, literally, it happens to everyone. From the Bronze League heroes all the way up to Harstem and Hero. Does that make it okay? Real fake doors. Brought to you by Protoss Pylons. Alright, game 3. Before we get too far off track, let's get back to the Stargate it is. Not trying the Twilight, but instead opting for the Stargate. The Twilight is just, it leaves you with too many unknowns. The Stargate, and specifically Oracle openers, allow you to literally and figuratively cover all your bases. And there's, it's a flying scout and a potential defensive unit, which the Twilight just simply does not provide. It's inherently more risky to go for the Twilight. And the reward is... the risk-reward ratio is just simply not there most of the time. That's why you'll see occasionally, because it almost feels like an obligation for Protoss players to pull out another build out of the deck. It does get difficult to repeat like the same style over and over as Zergs. Their whole nature, if you know the lore, is just adapting to what their opponents are doing, getting better. And that's why Protoss succeeds so much on the ladder, is when a best-of-1 barcode comes at you with the craziest proxy Stargate cannon rush battery, where are you from, seconds before the probe comes in cheese. It usually works. The second time, though, there's spores on the way. A whole lot of roaches and lings. Wayne, either misreading or very intent on doing counter damage. But yet again, Wayne with a whole lot of early units, which simply, well, against the, this is exactly what the Oracles are supposed to defend against. Wayne gonna try to either cancel or kill the third Nexus here. He's invested so much, he has to get some damage done. Well, if Harstem just hands him a few Adepts in the middle of the map, that could be helpful. The Oracle's got to swing in to help out. Corrosive Bile dodges out of the way, hits several Adepts with it, though, unfortunately. Harstem gonna have some trouble. And the Oracles get a couple kills, but definitely could have been a lot better. So, kind of a best-case scenario out of a bad situation for Wayne. If it was an Adept timing, if it was going to be some sort of 2-base or pseudo 2-base all-in, sure, Wayne's in a great spot there. But now Harstem, he's got 3 Nexi up, he's got a comfortable probe count, he's adding gateways on, Blink +1. Whereas, not that Wayne is too far behind. He's got his 4th on the way. 3 more gases. Lair, evolution, it's not ahead. I'll say that much, it's not ahead. I'm not a big fan of casters calling the game minutes early, but I like to think I give you a relatively accurate assessment from my perspective. And right now, as Wayne, and I'm 1/3 Zerg myself, so it feels bad, man. You invested in that early potential aggression, and you didn't slow the Protoss down much at all. Those Adepts are kind of a take it or leave it for Harstem. He didn't need them to be alive, especially with the Oracles still intact. So now, it's a bit of gambling time. You either just pick a number of drones and you build roaches and lings, which it looks like Wayne is doing, and you try to overwhelm a less committed Protoss army. There is no blink yet, so be careful with the stars. Or you try to sneak a tech switch in, whether it's Hive or maybe Hydras, possibly much more rare Mutas. But does he even have a Bane Nest? Ooh. No Bane Nest, so that means mass roaches, 62 drones. Pretty much 3-base saturation, focused on slamming as many roaches out as possible. Oracles are spotting for the Ravagers, waiting for their opportunity moments before they get to the 4th base here. Don't want to burn too much energy too early when it doesn't matter. Harstem wants to keep this 4th Nexus alive. And the Blink Stalker as well. Roach speed isn't even done here. He blinks to the other side of the roaches. He may just give up the 4th Nexus in order to take a better trade. Harstem says that Nexus costs, well, less than 4 Stalkers, actually. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, but... So losing that is not a massive economic blow, especially to Harstem with 78 probes, which is honestly a bit much, considering where Wayne is at the moment. Has to rebuild some pylons in order to get out of the supply block. Wayne slipping a few more drones into the production tab. But Harstem has all the initiative now. Did he manage to get any High Templar out? 2 of them. With energy for Storm. So if Wayne commits even a little too far here, the Storms could wash over the Roaches. Indeed they do, softening a bunch of them up, opening up much more of an opportunity for Blink Stalkers to chase them down, and indeed they do. Now Wayne, trying to get that tech. He's got a Hydra Den, he's got an Infestation Pit, he's got another Evo Chamber, he's got 7 more drones, but unfortunately he's also got Blink Stalkers in quite a high number, threatening him. Harstem not going to push out. There is the risk that even more units are coming across. This is kind of the poker game that you must play, especially at this level. Wayne needs to feign aggression while packing up for as long as possible, so Harstem doesn't find an opportunity or doesn't feel inspired to do counterattacks, to actually just straight up move out, which... Before the Lurker Den and Hive are done, well, Harstem's gonna see everything now. He sees the Lurker Den, he sees the Hive. He sees it's time. He's gotta do whatever he can, not only to defend, but also maybe some counterattacks. No charge, though. Everything focused on the Blink Stalker Immortal with Templar support. So diligent with those Oracles. Constantly revealing where the army is. Catching a creep tumor as well. Yep. Wayne can't go anywhere. Gonna try to chase down. Good blinks. Harstem holding it together. Six Lurkers on the way. They're not gonna have range. He's actually focused on adaptive talents. Lurker, burrow, speed, and speed. To start things out. Revelation yet again. Wayne has enough units that Harstem has to respect it. There's such a thing as being overly cautious, but so far just making sure Wayne can't pressure any of his bases. He's got the fleet peak. He's got 2 more Stargates on the way. He's got an exit strategy. if he gets bogged down too much on the ground. Because if the lurker count gets too damn high, very simply, you have no other options. Immortals and Templar and Blinkstalkers are all well and good. But against double-digit lurkers, that's not enough. The Oracles themselves can potentially deal with the lurkers, indeed. Showing that off here. Wayne with a big commitment of most of his lurkers, if not all. Over in the top corner, which leaves very little anti-ground that isn't roaches. And into the main, Harstem. Warping in the not-so-charged lots. The soon-to-be charged lots. Ricky, the accidental swarm host, will grace us with his presence. Praise be, praise be. A classic tactic. Zealot's finally cleaned up. But Harstem, already a carrier in production. Never a good sign when a carrier and Ricky are in the production tab at the same time. Wayne at 69 drones, which is not really nice enough to deal with this. Harstem's fortress wall. The gateway wall might hurt him if he didn't have carriers right now over the top. But oh my god, the storms! Ripping apart the roaches! Oh wow, I don't even know where Wayne was looking, but it clearly wasn't here. Looks like the War Prison was moving around. Here's Ricky! Try to participate! Taking some damage. Not making it out alive, but the single carrier. Still more than enough to contend, and deja vu, we've just been in this place before. As Harstem storms his way through, the carrier's holding the line. And the captain, with his capital ships, charts a course to victory. Just one technological step ahead of Wayne, pretty much throughout the series. It just, on Dragon Scales, was not enough to tilt it. Oh, pretty great series. Hectic, chaotic, but hopefully entertaining. Congratulations to Harstem. Wayne put up a great fight, but not quite good enough. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I made your day a little bit better. 1,047 likes. We'll have another series. Maybe we'll see who Harstem faces next in the ESL Summer. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Good luck. Have fun. Stay chill.